Okay, what's happening, people? We've got beterbiev versus Bivol 2 coming up this weekend. And as you guys know, well, those of you that have been following the channel, you will know that I don't just break down or give my predictions for MMA. I also like to do boxing if it is worth it. Well, combat sports in general, if it's worth it, then I'll cover it. Because I am not just an MMA fan, I am a combat sports fan, but obviously predominantly MMA. But anyways, let's get into this card. This beterbiev versus Bivol card, because this card is quite good. Obviously, it takes place in Saudi Arabia. Shout out to Turkey Al Sheikh. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but shouts out to him, because obviously he's making the big fights happen, because before that, boxing was in a bit of a shambles. You know, obviously there was a recent debate whether boxing is bigger than MMA, and I don't think currently it is. I feel like boxing has been very stagnant for a while, but obviously Turkey Al Sheikh has come and saved boxing, because if it wasn't for him, boxing would still be in a shambles. But with that being said, let's get into this great card, because honestly, this is probably one of the best cards we're going to see for a very long time. Probably the best card we've seen for as long as I've been alive. I don't think I've seen a better boxing card than this, to be honest, from top to bottom. Obviously, I don't know where I've been trying to find the prelims, but I can't find them. So if anyone has a link to the prelims, drop it in the comments or DM me on my Instagram. My Instagram will be below in the description. But anyways, let's get into this card. We've got a WBO World Interim Light Heavyweight bout, and this is for the belt. We've got Joshua Buatsi versus Callum Smith. I know more about Joshua Buatsi. I don't really know much about Callum Smith. I've heard his name for a while, but I don't know too much about him. Obviously, I think I saw the highlights for Joshua Buatsi versus Dan Aziz. Obviously, I've actually met Dan Aziz a few times, because he used to train at a gym quite local to me. Very cool guy. But yeah, I think with that one, I'm going to go with Joshua Buatsi just because I know him. But I'll probably say that probably goes the distance. Then we move up to a vacant WBC Interim Heavyweight Championship bout, and that's Zhilei Zhang versus Agits Caballo. I'll be honest, I'm picking Zhilei Zhang to win that, because you know he's got dynamite in his hands. So yeah, I'm going to keep that one short and sweet. I'm picking Zhilei Zhang to win. Then we move up to the next fight up the card, which is a WBC World Interim Super Welterweight Championship. And we have Virgil Ortiz Jr. versus Israel Madrimov. I'm sure I've seen Israel fight before. I don't know anything about either fighter, but I'm sure I've seen Madrimov, however you say your name. I'm sure I've seen you fight before, so I'm going to pick you to win that. Then we move up to a WBC World Middleweight Championship, and we have Carlos Adams, or Adams, I don't know how you pronounce that, versus Hamza Shiraz. I don't know why this guy's name is sticking out to me. I think this might be the guy that had a controversial win against Bradley Skeet. Obviously, I know Bradley Skeet, not on a level like that, but I know him very briefly, obviously, because he trains a lot of guys down at a gym that I train at once a week. Very good guy, very good padman, very good boxer. And if I'm correct, Hamza Shiraz, or Shiraz, yeah, however you say his name, I'm almost certain he landed a blow while Bradley Skeet was grounded. So because of that, I'm going to go against him. And I'm going to pick him to lose by vicious knockout. Because if it's the correct guy I'm thinking of, that was very dirty, and it just shows you have no sportsmanship. So yeah, I hope you lose, you fucking dickhead cunt. But if I'm wrong and it's not the guy, then I hope you win in it. But yeah, I just had to get that out there. Then we move up. We've got a WBC World Lightweight Championship. We've got Shakur Stevenson versus Floyd Schofield. I've heard Floyd Schofield's name float about in the boxing scene for the last 2 years. I don't know much about him. I haven't seen him fight. I think I tuned in to his fight when he was last fighting, but by the time I tuned in, I think the UFC had just finished and I wasn't tired, and I think his fight was the only thing that I could watch. So I slapped it on, and from what I saw, he looks decent, but I don't know too much about him. Obviously, Shakur Stevenson, I know much more about him. I'll be honest, I haven't watched a lot of Shakur's fights. But I mean, from what I know of Shakur, I think he's going to win this one. He's going to, pick his shots and run around the whole ring for 12 rounds. So he'll probably get a decision win. That's not me taking anything away from his boxing. I just feel like he doesn't engage too much. I feel like he picks his shots and, moves around, plays, well, I guess boxing, hit and don't get hit, but his style is very boring. So, but yeah, I think he'll win that fight. So yeah, that's who I'm picking for that fight. And then we move up to the co-main event, which is an IBF World Heavyweight Championship, and we have Daniel Dubois versus Joseph Parker. And to be honest, that's going to be an interesting fight. But I'll be honest, Joseph Parker has shown in numerous fights that he can be hurt. I think Daniel Dubois can take a shot, and I think Daniel Dubois can give a shot. And you see what people need to understand, yeah? You see Daniel Dubois. For example, funny enough, he's actually from my area, but I never saw Daniel. I've seen Daniel Dubois in my area once in my lifetime. And that was maybe about 6 years ago. I was driving, he was walking. But I never saw him in my area. Most other people that, come out of my area and have gone on to be known, a lot of them I've either seen them or had maybe brief interactions with them. But Daniel Dubois, I've never seen him. And I think he was homeschooled. And you know what people need to understand is, people like that, because you can tell he's a bit socially awkward just by the way he talks and his mannerism. But with people like that, I'm not going to... Some of those guys tend to be the most, you'll be surprised. Some of those guys tend to be strong, man. And some of them guys can actually scrap, the socially awkward, the quote-unquote weird one. They tend to surprise a lot of people. Like even me growing up, because I was so quiet, people used to think, oh, why is he so quiet? Until, I get loud. So, again, with that being said, I do think Daniel Dubois is going to win this one. Obviously, Joseph Parker has got the boxing skills and fundamentals to possibly win this fight, but I just think Daniel Dubois is going to be in his face too much. I think he's going to be pushing Parker back, and I think he will land that killer shot that will probably put Parker out. So I'm going to pick Daniel Dubois to win this one by knockout. Yeah, that's what I'm picking for that fight. And then we move on to the main event, which is the undisputed World Light Heavyweight Championship of the world. All the belts on the line. We have Artur beterbiev versus Dimitry Bivol. And let's quickly talk about the first fight. We're not going to spend too much time talking about it, but the first fight was very close. I would have had it as a draw, but I can see why anyone would have given it to either fighter, because it was very, 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 very close. I personally had it as a draw. It was a very good fight. Obviously, Artur beterbiev is a slow starter. He started slow as usual. Bivol picked up a lot of the early rounds. But I feel like later on, Bivol started to slow down a little bit. It was back and forth. It was good. No one really landed clean and connected cleanly. But it was a very good fight. And that's what people need to understand. When you have two high-level, world-class fighters that are really high level and up to the standard, you're not it's not always going to look as pretty, and it's not always going to be as exciting as people would expect it to be, because I don't think that fight was particularly exciting. However, going into this rematch, I think Beterbiev is going to want to start a bit earlier. I think he's going to try to pressure Bivol a lot more. I think because he's been in there and he knows what Bivol kind of has to offer, I think he's going to go in there thinking, I can get the KO. I'm going to push for the KO. I think Beterbiev is going to go for the KO, and I think he's going to start a lot earlier than last time. My only thing with that is Bivol is not a shit boxer. So my thing is, if Beterbiev goes into this fight hunting for the knockout, could he potentially leave himself open for a counter? Because Bivol's a very good boxer, but then again, with that being said, so is Beterbiev. So it's going to be a very close matchup again. It's going to be a chess match, but I'm going to pick Beterbiev to win. I think he's just going to start earlier. I think he's going to try and stamp and cement himself as the winner in this fight. And the thing is, if it goes to a knockout, there's only one person I see winning by a knockout, and that's Beterbiev. Obviously, if it goes to points, it's a 50-50, but I do think Beterbiev is just going to go in there, giving it his all, pressuring from the first bell. And what people need to remember as well, in the last fight, he was coming off an injury. Not saying that it affected him, but now he's, shall we say, fully 100%. So yeah, it's going to be a good fight. I look forward to the card. I'm going to try and watch the whole card from bottom to top to bottom. But yeah, like I said, guys, this is probably one of the best cards in boxing that we're going to get for a very long time. Obviously, Turkey Al Sheikh is involved in boxing, so we probably will get some more good cards, but make sure you don't miss it, guys. Tune in on Saturday the 22nd of February. Like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on TikTok. In a bit.